Hi, everyone! Little Bear Ridge Road. That is the play that I saw today at the Booth Theater. It's written by Samuel D. Hunter, directed by Joe Mantello, Scott Rudin, a producer, Laurie Metcalf, star, and that's all I knew about it walking into the theater. That's it. I didn't know anything else. Well, except I did know that it had something to do with the pandemic, and that was it. Um, so that's the show. I'm gonna be honest with my friends. This is like the fourth or fifth time I am starting this video, and I never do that. This one's hard to talk about. So, what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to focus on my experience, which this one's gonna mean talking about myself some, okay? Um, and there's gonna be stuff that you might automatically assume about my family or my background or my that, but please don't. Don't, because when I'm talking about it, it's not relative in that way. Um, but we meet in 2020 in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. We meet Sarah, Laurie Metcalf, and Ethan, who is Micah Stock, who is so familiar to me. But I didn't see the play that he was Tony nominated for. And I don't remember him. It says he was in Front Page on Broadway, which I did see and enjoyed and can remember a lot of, but I don't remember him. But then I was also drunk back then a lot. Okay, so it's not the actor. That was before I got sober. um, and then his screen work, there's a lot of it. None of it seemed familiar, but he seemed familiar. But that's okay. But so he is. Ethan is Sarah's nephew. His father, her brother, has just died, and he was a drug addict. And Ethan is in his 30s. He is gay. He has come back to settle his father's affairs, sell the house and furniture and stuff like that. Because Ethan has no money. He's broke. He's a frustrated writer. And very sad. Sarah, we learn more about as the story goes on, but she is a very abrupt, strong, loud, vocal, Archie Bunker type of a person. If you guys can relate to that, All in the Family. She lives out in the middle of nowhere because, as she says, she doesn't like people. Okay? Um, she's screaming and yelling at people, and what she's doing is asking them if they want a Coke or something like that. Hey, you want a Coke? You know, it's just, that's the character. Here's the thing, it's mostly the two of them. There is a young actor who makes his Broadway debut, and he plays a couple of roles, and he does a brilliant job. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I know I'm going to get called out. Somebody's going to go, well, what, if he was that good, why didn't you share with us his name? Okay, I can hear you saying it, Pat. But so John Drea is his name and made his Broadway debut. Has some really great credentials and very, very good. But to the two leads, Laurie Metcalf is a force of nature. Okay, I mean, her performance is just. Not only is she brilliantly talented, gifted from the goddesses, but she is also studied and worked and trained. This is an actor who has trained their art and their craft, and so they are so believable that they don't even have to work at it. There's a moment when he is more upstage and she's turned out towards us, and he has a line that it doesn't make sense, and she has a gut reaction on her face and then corrects that reaction into what it should be. Um, and that, in that moment, tells you everything you need to know about these two characters. That they are estranged, they are uncomfortable, but they are both alone. They are it. And as you find out, they are the last two surviving people of their family line. He did a DNA search. And when those two people died, that family will be gone. And they say that that's a good thing. These are two people who have a real hard time communicating. And they have a hard time not meeting people where they are. I keep using my hands. I don't know why, but it's. He thinks she's here, so he's here, but she's really down here, and he can't figure out why she doesn't get it, and she gets frustrated with him. It's a communication thing. And there's people that really struggle with that. I am one of those people. I have struggled with communication a lot. I never realized it. And this is where I'm going to get into my experience and into my life. I have realized just in the last year or so that a lot of the ways I would speak to people and communicate was unacceptable. But they accepted it because, oh, that's just the way J. Scott is. Yeah, that is not acceptable. And I regret that. I really do. So there was a lot of watching this that the work that I have been doing internally through my therapist and my life coach and different other things is I'm sitting there going, oh, if only you could. And I'm getting why they have such problem communicating. So there's my little tirade, but that's what I got from it. There's a lot more. There's a lot of frustration with the world. There's a lot of frustration with where we are as a planet, as a species. And I'm just going to say that. That's just flat out. That I think Samuel Hunter I think it's Samuel D. Hunter, does a great job of doing. We address addiction, abuse. There's a lot of that self-esteem. There are a lot of core issues in this play that are going to relate to almost everybody. There is something for everyone in this play. It never is so heavy. Even though it's a drama, it never feels like, oh my God. It just doesn't give you that. It leaves you with a very strong, intense feeling, but an appreciation for humanity and a realization that we're all here together. And somebody's got to have your back. And you've got to have somebody's back. So, I love the Booth Theater. I will see shows at the Booth Theater almost every trip. One thing I love about the Booth Theater is they don't ever have, to my knowledge and my experience, really long running. So that way it's always fresh. But in fact, I was reminiscing when I think I posted, I know I did. I posted it saying I'm almost positive the Booth Theater is where Hand to God played decades, a long time ago. And this guy got up on the set because there was an outlet painted on the wall, and this guy, it's such an intimate theater that you can get up on the stage easily, is what I was trying to make in the analogy. But it was this thing where this guy tried to plug his cell phone in. Some called it a stunt. I don't remember. Kimberly Akimbo was in his theater, which the guy that was Kimberly's father, he was the lead. He was the kid in Hand to God. How funny is that? Excuse me. I loved Kimberly Akimbo. But anyway, I love that theater, the Booth Theater. It's a classic old style theater. And I would encourage you, this is a really, really good play that really moved me. This might be the play of the year. It really might be. Little Bear Ridge Road. Go see it. And I'm off to see another serious play with Cynthia Nixon and Danny Burstein and June Squibb at 96 years old in Marjorie Prime. Another one of my favorite theaters, the Hayes. Again, another very intimate house. All right. Bye.